What happens to female prisoners in men's jails? Have you ever considered the hidden world that exists within the walls of our justice system? A world where female prisoners, against all odds, find themselves confined in male jails, facing a litany of challenges and dangers that remain largely hidden from public view. Today, we embark on a journey into the lives of Lab and the girl from Santa Isabel, exposing the harsh realities they endured and highlighting the pressing need for awareness and change in our criminal justice system. You might be wondering, why on earth would female prisoners end up in male prisons? Well, it's often due to overcrowding or not having enough separate places for them. And it's these women who pay the price, finding themselves in places they don't belong and are the most vulnerable in. Imagine being the only one in a situation, surrounded by people who might not have the best intentions. It's like being the odd one out in a group that speaks a different language. You feel isolated and unsafe. These women face a higher risk for all sorts of problems, not just physical harm, but also emotional and mental struggles. We need to peel back these layers and understand what they go through and why it's so crucial to bring about change. That's what exactly happened to this girl. Lab's story, a miner's nightmare. Allow me to introduce you to LAB, known only by her initials due to her security and privacy. She was a young individual who found herself entangled in a distressing situation that sheds light on the challenges faced by minors within the justice system. At the tender age of 15, Lab was accused of engaging in a petty theft incident, an offense that, although not of a grave nature, led to her legal apprehension. However, the subsequent events took a distressing turn as Lab was placed in the confines of a male prison, an environment inherently ill-suited and unsafe for a person of her age and vulnerability. Lab's parents only discovered her dire situation after a considerable lapse of time, adding another layer of distress to an already grim narrative. The police, it is reported, not only withheld critical information from her parents, but also manipulated the truth to exacerbate the ordeal. In a disheartening turn of events, Lab's father was coerced into falsely stating that Lab was 19 years old, a fabrication that had profound implications for her safety and well-being within the male prison environment. This deliberate misinformation further showcases the systemic negligence and disregard for the rights and welfare of young individuals in the criminal justice system. Stripped of the protection and support inside the jail, she became a victim of unimaginable abuse and torment. She was subjected to physical assaults, sexual assaults, and a range of unspeakable acts, all of which were inflicted upon her by her fellow inmates. The environment she found herself in was one rife with danger and exploitation, as she struggled to navigate a world that was entirely unsuited for someone of her age and vulnerability. Despite her cries for help, her pleas seemed to fall on deaf ears, with no intervention from either the authorities or the prison staff. The tale of Lab's suffering serves as a stark reminder of the urgent need for reform and the protection of the rights and dignity of every individual within the justice system, especially those who are the most vulnerable. But the question still lies: why was Lab left without help? And why were her parents forced into lying about her age by the police? These troubling aspects of Lab's story reveal deeper systemic issues within the criminal justice system. The absence of assistance for Lab during her ordeal hints at a larger problem: a lack of accountability, inadequate training, and perhaps an indifference to the well-being of those who are incarcerated. It's possible that the staff may have been desensitized to the pleas of inmates, especially when they are marginalized or considered less important. Lab's story is not an isolated incident. It's a reflection of a larger problem within our criminal justice system. The challenges she faced, from being wrongly placed in a male prison to enduring unimaginable abuse, highlight the need for reforms that prioritize the safety, dignity, and rights of every individual, regardless of their circumstances. We must advocate for a system that ensures transparency, accountability, and compassion, working collectively to prevent such tragedies from occurring again. Through awareness, education, and a commitment to change, we can stand together and ensure that no one else has to endure the nightmare that Lab faced. It's time to transform the darkness of these stories into a catalyst for positive transformation within our justice system.